and I'm about to go down the events of October 25th, 2020, when I got the phone call that my husband died. So, what you're looking at right now is Pottsville, PA, Schuylkill County, rural Hicktown, USA. This is 100 miles from Philadelphia. Just far away, just far enough up in the fucking Hicks that nobody gives a fuck. Okay? So this is the main street in Pottsville. It's called Center Street. And this right here is the Pottsville Police Station. And look how funny it is that I pull up the Pottsville Police Station and look at that. State Trooper, Troop L. You see that? Troop L, right? The whole thing, it's comical. It's really comical when you look at it. So from in my investigation and what I've been able to put together is that so my husband was lured to this bar right here, this crummy piece of shit bar. It's now called the Pottsville Pub and Inn, and from my recollection, it used to be called M&M's. Used to be called M&M's. There we go. Every crackhead scumbag stays in here. Look at that. Good old bar. Right down the street. Right down the street from the police station. You see that? So he was lured to this bar right here, right? Everybody and their mom was in there. Was in this bar. But nobody knows anything. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows nothing. But I bet Jen Smith knows. I bet Jen Smith's cracker ass knows. So she lures him to this bar. And so what I was able to put together is that he was from my assumption is that he was drugged at the bar. He was drugged at the bar. He was put in a car and taken several miles up the street to, let's go to, where's my recent searches? He was taken several miles up to the street to this Motel 6 in Frackville, PA. Now this is right down the street. Can you see the prison from here? Wait, let me zone out. Is this the prison? Yep. SCI Monoy. There's the prison right there. Right down the street from the prison. He was taken to this motel. See, now here's the clincher with this whole motel situation, because I physically went there, because I was in complete and utter disbelief in everything I was being told. I wanted to see it for myself. I went to this motel. So they have this motel, and you would think it's just this motel right here, that this is just the motel right here, right? No. You got this whole other part of the motel back here. This is where he was. Okay? Now let me show you that. This room right here. Okay? Now, when you think of a motel, you think of, just some crummy room with a bed, just a regular motel room, right? Behind this door right here is something that I've never seen in my life, okay? Now, this window is connected to this room right here. and this window is connected to this room right here. You go into this room, when this motherfucker took me into this room, I was floored. You hear me? I was floored. When you walk in this door, it goes down into a hallway, and there's 2 rooms back there. So you go into this door, and directly to your left is a room. And there's a window like this in that hallway where you can see out into the hallway. And then straight back is the room that he was found in. And the way my stomach turned when I saw that shit, it was unbelievable. They still had the mattress with blood all over it. And I would bet that they still have that mattress in use to this day. I guarantee they didn't even change that mattress. And so what transpired is he was brought to this hotel room or motel, trashy ass fucking scumbag fucking motel. And from what I could piece together, he was attacked in the hallway, and several people attacked him with a pole, a pipe, a bat, something of that nature, and he was beat to death. And at the same time that the assault is taking place, his intestines are burning up because he was drugged with GHB. Okay? It says all of this on his toxicology report, people, that I have. Okay? So then, right, this was a Saturday night. And so supposedly he wasn't found until 12 o'clock the next day. Okay? Now, mind you, this Jen Smith chick gave a story about how he told her to leave because he wasn't feeling good. So you're with this man, and he's saying that he's not feeling good and he can't breathe, and you just leave him at the motel. You just fucking leave him at the motel. That was her story. That was her crummy fucking story. But was that even investigated? You know? So they supposedly didn't find him till 12 o'clock. Checkout is 11 o'clock. Okay? And they said that on Sundays that they'll let people sleep for a little while before they, force them out. Never heard of that in my life ever, from any motel, hotel establishment ever in my fucking life. Never heard of that. And so supposedly they find his dead body at 12 p.m. on Sunday, but the police weren't called until 3 p.m. 3 p.m., people. 3 p.m. What was going on all that time? What was happening all that time? And then the coroner wasn't called supposedly until 3:30 p.m. And he wasn't pronounced until 3:30 p.m. But nobody has any answers. Nobody has any answers. And the whole family parades me and my children at the funeral. And, I'm going through it with these people, trying to get all this information. I'm getting blocked. The family's acting like they're on my side, like they're gonna help, and they want to know what happened and all this jazz, and I'm constantly going through one hurdle after another, and not until 2025, the FOIA request that I just showed you guys, did I find out that they concealed everything under intelligence. That and it says blatantly in there that they under no circumstances will reveal any of that, because it would reveal that it was an inside job, that everyone conspired to take this man's life. um it's disgusting. And the terror that has been placed upon me and my children throughout all of this, um it I can't find the words. It infuriates me, and it frustrates me so bad, so fucking bad, that it's disgusting. And then, so originally, when all of this first happened, I knew that I needed some legal representation. So I knew that it was already an inside job and a whole huge conspiracy was going on. So why would I go to a lawyer up there in Schuylkill County, right? So I randomly just picked a law firm out of Philadelphia and called them. You have to understand, I'm in shock at this point. I'm trying to console my children. I'm trying to piece together what the fuck is happening. Um, I needed somebody on my side at that point, right? So I called this law firm, and it was a Friday. I didn't speak to anybody. I left a message. Monday morning, the secretary calls me, and she says to me that they had a meeting about it over the weekend. They had a fucking meeting about it over the weekend, and they refer me to their colleagues in Pottsville. In fucking Pottsville. I wonder if I could pull that up. Who was that law firm in Pottsville? Here, wait, let me see if I could go to it. Wait, I want to go back this way. So they refer me. My stomach drops. My stomach drops when they refer me to this fucking law firm. And so I go because at this point I'm trying to find out information. This was the building where the law firm was. Here we go. That was the law firm, right? So they refer me to this colleague who's Indian. Okay? Indian motherfucker. And is it a coincidence that Indians own that Motel 6? I mean, is it? And so I go there, and I'm like, I already know what's happening. I already know I'm getting railroaded, and I wanted to see what he was gonna say. And this guy has a whole fucking a pile of paperwork that he's fingering through, and he doesn't know Jimmy. He doesn't know Jimmy. He doesn't know who he is. Now, mind you, we lived in this community for years. For years. My husband was well known. We had a unisex salon right down the street. Where was our salon at? The next block. Let's go down. Let's go down here. Here we go. This is where our salon was. Right here. Right here. This was our unisex salon right here. You see that? You see how close everything is? You see that? Little small ass town. Little small ass fucking town. And then we'll get to this whole building right here. We'll get to this whole building right here, because something tells me that little scumbag Tammy got something to do with this. So this motherfucker No, when all of this is going on, nobody knows who Jimmy Flowers is. They're all dumbfounded. Nobody knows who he is. Big black guy. He was always the big black guy. I like that big black guy. That's what they all used to say. The big black guy. Oh yeah. But at this time, everyone's dumb. Nobody knows who he is. Who's Jimmy? Who's Jimmy? That's and I highlight that so much and so often because I can't get past how it was like we were in the twilight zone. Nobody knew who he was, right? And then so he gives me a bunch of bullshit about he doesn't know what's going on. He's gonna get to the bottom of it, right? So then he sends me this bogus ass fucking letter that actually gave me a lot of information to the whole situation in the letter because people telling themselves, and we'll go over that too. I'll get to that one. I don't know what file I have that in. But yeah. Yeah, so somebody needs to be arrested. I don't care what politician is involved. I don't care what judge is mixed up. I don't give a fuck what you have to lose, bitch. Fuck you. I hope you burn in fucking hell. You all will burn in fucking hell, okay? I want to see you motherfuckers put the fuck behind bars. That's what I want, okay? And anybody from this point, from what was done to my husband, to the conspiracy that was waged against myself and my children, who all wanted to motherfucking get in on it for $1. You got it. You got that. And whatever comes to you is what you motherfucking deserve.